Hey, this is really awkward because I don't know how to work YouTube, but we're doing great. If you hear somebody snoring in the background, that's probably my dog, but it's fine. So, this is my career choice presentation. So, when everybody's a kid, we always get asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And as a kid, my answer was always that I wanted to be a teacher. As a kid, I was just like, oh, being a teacher would be so fun. I'd get to keep going to school for the rest of my life. I love school. I want to be a teacher. I want to be just like some of my teachers that I had when I was a kid. As I got older, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be a teacher. Like when I was in high school, I thought about, being a pharmacist, but then that was not a great idea. I decided that I wanted to be a coroner at one point. But, after considering other job avenues and stuff, I kind of just always came back to the fact that I wanted to be a teacher. It never really changed as I got older. Even as a kid, I was like, oh, being a teacher would be so fun. But now as an adult, I kind of have different reasons for wanting to be a teacher. I still want to teach, obviously. I want to teach English. That's what I'm in school for. But the main reason that I want to be a teacher is because I want to be able to help people. I know that high school can be one of the most stressful and difficult times in a kid's life. It definitely was for me. And I know that I really needed someone to be there for me while I was at school and kind of make me feel like I was loved and that I was important. And I just want to be that for somebody else. I want to be that for another high school student. Because high school really is no joke. And while it is really important to teach, language and literature and all of that stuff, obviously, because like I said, I'm going to be an English teacher, but I think that teaching love and compassion for, themselves and for each other is one of the most important things that you can teach while students are in high school. I really feel like I'm called to help the next generation become successful not only in their academic affairs, but also in their personal lives as well. Like I said, with the whole helping teach compassion and everything. So as for my personal passions, I have always been very interested in English. In kindergarten and, through elementary school, I was always reading on an upper middle school or a high school level. And as a kid, my grandma always read to me. She would take me to the library. I was always reading a book. I wasn't a very athletic kid, so I was just reading a book all the time. And my grandma always corrected my grammar no matter what. And she still does that to this day. If I come home and I'm like, just talking like a normal person, she's like, well, you're an English major, you have to have correct grammar, and she'll always correct me. So I've kind of been surrounded by stuff like that my whole life. And then when I entered high school, I started taking honors English classes and AP classes, and my 10th and 11th grade teacher, she was the same teacher for both years, she really inspired a love for English in me. I had her for English 3 and for AP Lit. AP Lang, just kidding. But she inspired this love for English in me, especially for American literature. And whenever I, started to love this subject, I knew that that's what I was called to teach. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher, but then I finally found my calling. I finally found what I wanted to teach and do for the rest of my life. And so moving on, as a future teacher, I haven't really thought too much about all of the geographical and travel restrictions or, stuff like that with teaching. Teachers are always kind of needed everywhere. Obviously, I grew up in Pickens County, and teachers definitely are needed there, and I've thought about going back to Pickens County and teaching there. But after being in college and having some experience in school districts like Spartanburg 5, Spartanburg 1, Greenville County School District, I've kind of decided that I feel like I want to teach in those school districts more than I would want to teach in Pickens County, just because I feel more called to there, not really because anything's wrong with Pickens or wrong with any other county. I just feel called to be there. I've become familiar with Greenville County and Spartanburg County throughout my college career. So I would really like to stay there, and my geographical location kind of just depends on where I end up getting a job. Obviously, I'm going to move out of my parents' house, And if I were to teach in Spartanburg County, I'm obviously not going to drive from Pickens to Spartanburg, so my geographical location and travel will just depend on where I end up getting a job at. And even if something were to come up and I were to need to move, even to a different county or across the country or something, then I believe that I'd still be able to find a position as a secondary English teacher kind of wherever I ended up going. The focus of my career will very much be academic. Not only will I have a degree in an academic subject, I'll also just be surrounded by a lot of other academics, and I've experienced that in high school and college. I've met so many teachers that are so incredibly smart and so incredibly educated on their subject areas, and I'm excited to be a teacher and to be in those subject areas and be around such academic people. And while I'm becoming a teacher because I want to help people and because that's what I feel called to do, it's not unimportant to look at the financial aspect of teaching. As I stated before, I would really like to stay in Greenville County or Spartanburg County, and in these counties, Greenville specifically, the minimum salary for a teacher has recently been raised to $40,000 a year, which is an amazing step for teachers because in some of the surrounding counties, such as Pickens County, I know for sure, Oconee County, Anderson County, the salary difference can be almost $8,000, which is a lot of a pay cut to take just to be in a different county. And between Spartanburg and Greenville, the pay kind of ranges like $13 to $15 difference from that $40,000 rather than $8,000. So that is another reason that I would want to be in Greenville or Spartanburg counties. But also just the benefits of being a teacher are also really good. Teachers are entitled to insurance for themselves and for their families, which is amazing. If you work in a public school, you will work for the state, so you would qualify for state retirement, which is another great thing. And, teachers get a certain amount of paid sick days, just like pretty much any other job. And you can't forget teachers are, get the infamous summers off, even though, some people think that it's not fair that teachers get their summers off. People don't realize that teachers still have to work during the summer. They have to do professional development and stuff like that. But it still would be nice to have a little bit of a break from my job, and that's another benefit of teaching, in my opinion. As for advancement in the teaching field, there is a lot of room for advancement. Teachers can decide to become administrators, they can get higher education, and they can go and teach college or teach at college or the university level, whatever they prefer. I think that's a really great thing for teachers. I've watched a man that goes to church with me go from being a teacher to an assistant principal to a principal, and he's now the assistant superintendent for Pickens County Schools. So, there is room for advancement no matter what your teaching position is. And then finally, as for short-term and long-term goals, I do have a few of each of those. As of short-term, I really just want to be able to get a job in whatever county or school that I feel like I'm a good fit for, or in a school district that I feel like I'm a good fit for. That's obviously a thing that everybody wants in their jobs. They always want to feel like they're a good fit in whatever job they're in. It doesn't have to be teaching, it can be any career. And in an ideal world, I would be able to teach English 2 or 3 because you can include some American literature in those. And American literature is really my passion. I'm not as familiar with British literature. It's not really my thing, but I would really love to be able to teach American literature. And then lastly, for long-term goals, I want to start my master's degree as soon as I possibly can. And I would really love to become a professor at the college or university level. That hasn't always been one of my goals. I used to think about, becoming an administrator, like a principal. But after being in college, I just think it would be really, really great to just be able to pour into future educators the way that some of my teachers have poured into me. And I really want to aspire to do that. Overall, the most important thing that can come out of me being a teacher is that I could just at least help one student, no matter their situation, that I could show them that they're important and that they're loved. And, if they learn some English along the way, that'd be awesome. But really my main goal in becoming a teacher is just to help people and to be able to show my love for Christ through my actions and be able to love on other people as well. So yeah, that's my career choice, and those are the reasons that I've chosen it. Thank you.